Hello there. We're here. Well, I'm here. Um, the whole point of us starting a little later was for Dad to be able to get home and join us, but unfortunately, his cat fell ill and he's got a vet appointment. So we'll just leave it at that. He'll join us whenever he gets around to, but right now he's got pet duties. So. And I see Kovacian got here at the regular time, which was 5 o'clock, and that had changed in his absence. That's what you get for going on awesome vacations. He just came back from Iceland, I recall. Showed some pictures that were pretty awesome there. Some Viking brunch buffet, whatever it was, Viking feast. That looked like it was fun. At least nobody went hungry on that one. Eat more possum. Howdy, Brent. Well, we've got a couple of things to cover today, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I suppose we could start with, let's start with the ugly, the ugliest stuff. And Chuck and Lori, you all need to do something with your congresswoman up there. Because the Countering CCP Drones Act amendment passed the House, and now it's on the way to the Senate to be reattached to the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act. So, yeah, that is happening again. Hey, Drone Delirium. So, let me do this. So, the Countering CCP Drones Act agreed by voice. So, yeah, the Countering CCP Drones Act is rearing its ugly head again. And apparently they're picking up more momentum on that. So, good evening, Scott. I see you sneaking in here. So, yeah. Countering CCP Drone Act, meaning DJI being added to the covered list. It just doesn't look good for DJI anymore. I mean, they've just come out with an awesome little drone, the little Neo, and I'm seriously considering getting it, but not available in this country till what, sometime in October, unless you buy it out of Canada or something. Where's Jim at? Jim needs to go to Best Buy for us and pick up some quads.
Sorry, I don't know that.
What in the world? My Echo's playing crazy. Anyway, so that was the ugly. I know Jim has his. I've seen his. I already seen his videos, but he's in Canada. It's the U.S. that's out of the equation right now, and rumor has it that the U.S. Neos are made in Malaysia, and they had issues getting that plant set up or something. So at least that's one of the rumors I heard. So all right, let's do away with this ugliness. Well, yeah, Drone Dynamics in Canada has to fly more with remote 4334. But do they ship to the US? And then can you get care refresh on it in the US? Because DJI's warranty is not global. So if you bought it in Canada and you break it, you probably have to send it back to Canada to get it serviced. So what we have here. So yeah. Steel City Drones talking detail about this bill today. This bill's been talked to death already, James. Yeah, I'm just gonna caution you about buying stuff out of Canada or out of any other country, because there were guys that had the DJI O3 unit and they need to be sent in for repair, and they bought them from Flybu in China, and they had to be returned to China for repair. And DJI's warranty is not global, meaning you can get it in whatever country you're in, regardless of where you bought it. So if you bought it in China, you have to send it to the Chinese center. Good luck getting that back. I'm fighting with AliExpress right now over a set of motors that I ordered that have disappeared in shipment. So yeah, unfortunately, the Countering CCP Drones Act is here to stay, apparently. I wonder how much Skydio paid to these Congress people to get this thing punched through. It was like the national security advisor for that congresswoman that now is upper management at Skydio. Weird how that works. Shipping from Canada does not take too long. And there are some, I don't know if the dealer is allowed to ship outside of Canada. So, yeah, Texas Strong Guy. Howdy, Mike. And for the late arrivals, that is out at the vet was the cat. So, reason we started later was for him to make it, but yeah, just make sure that they are allowed to sell to the U.S. and that you're gonna be able to get service if need to be. I mean that Neo seems to be pretty tough, but if you're gonna buy DJI refresh on it, you better make sure that you be able to send it in the US here. Because if you gotta send, well, Canada shouldn't be too tough, but there's still customs to deal with. So careful. If it works, great, good for you. I'll just wait till whatever a month from now when they're actually available. Besides, in the months we'll know more about this Countering CCP Drones Act, and then we can make a bit better informed decision how this is going to work out going forward. And Harley FPV, howdy, fella. So, yeah. Why does the rest of the world have the Neo and we here in America do not have it? It's because allegedly, and I only heard that as a rumor, all the Neos for the US are made in Malaysia, not in China. And the plant in Malaysia had some issues, and that's why they're not here yet. And I'm guessing that was the delay, was the Neo to begin with. Because originally the leak said somewhere around, we'll see it around the 20th, and it finally came on the 5th. Was it on the 5th? And then now we're and Kenny is here. Watch out, y'all. So, but yeah. Well, I'm gonna just sit back and wait. I know Dad ordered one, and he was given a shipping date of the 6th of October for his. So, and Chuck was driving. Hopefully, you were driving up there to see that Congresswoman to straighten her out. So, Geek Swana has an in-depth video about the whole Countering CCP Drones Act too. So, putting all my quads on beta flat right now. Check all the settings. What are you looking for? You gonna update everything to 4.5.1? I mean, what's the? Yeah, I know you. There's plenty of people that have everything else, and the Neo apparently is also compatible with the RCN2 controller now, so you don't necessarily have to buy the N3 if you already have an N2 laying around. Well, that'll give you something to do. I mean, you're about to be a busy man again with that hurricane coming. You'll be right back there with Johnny on them. Oh, you might even be in Texas for a bit again. So, anyhow, we got the ugly out of the way. Let's go with the bad. That is something that happened to me yesterday morning. Driving, and I didn't see a wheel and tire laying on the roadway, and it was my truck at about 50 mile an hour. And I thought I blew my entire front end out. It was bad. I mean, this side doesn't look too bad, but that was the top side that was, I was under the cross member under the truck. But here's the back side of it. That was the part that was scraping on the pavement. And I wasn't the only one that hit that thing. There was some lady pulled over, her whole front driver's side, bumper, fender liner, all that stuff tore to pieces. I mean, that it's a dark road, no street lights whatsoever, even though it's in city limits, just pitch dark going down the hill. I didn't see anything. And I mean, if you look at the color of that thing, how are you going to see that laying on the road? Yeah, it's not a good way to start your work week. That's for darn sure. So, and now we've touched on all the, well, I've got the feeling because this is a fairly nice wheel, or was a fairly nice wheel. I'm guessing somebody lost that out of a back truck or something. Yeah, I'm wondering because it was like 6 o'clock in the morning when I hit it. So I'm wondering if somebody didn't go around with a jack and a couple impacts and collected some tires off of cars on the side of the road. And they just set their truck over there, and one of them fell out off the back truck kind of thing. But I mean, there's no telling. There's no telling where that thing came from. Well, I mean, to continue on the story, so this morning I'm driving and I got people flashing the lights behind me, and then I get a looking. I didn't have any tail lights, running lights. And I thought, maybe when I picked up that tire, I tore up some under the truck, but it turned out just to be the light bulbs. So I changed out the light bulbs and everything's working again. But yeah. Well, he's missing Iceland already because Steno was served. He didn't have to cook it. And there's Jim's. Probably the only guy in this chat that already has the Neo. I did see your videos on it. You're going to have a couple more tire puns there, Brent? Come on. You can do better than that. No, we're on. We're just having to go back to the 5:30 thing. So for Dad's last school year, his Tuesdays were light, so he got out early. Then we were able to go at 5 o'clock. Now he doesn't have to, and he's got a schedule change, and we got to go back to 5:30 to give him a chance to get home and get settled before we start the stream. Because he's on mountain time, so I'm 5:30. It's his 4:30, and if he's got school till 3:30, getting home and getting set up in 30 minutes can be a bit of a challenge. But right now he's at the vet. Not he, but his cat. And Neo seems irrelevant for about 2 owners. I don't know. The Neo is a toy. The Neo is a toy. But as an Avata 2 owner, the Neo is a nice little addition into the fleet, inexpensive addition into the fleet to fly the Sub 250 that you can't fly was the Vata 2 because the Vata 2 is over. So, and the Neo is a full 04 unit, so it's, I don't know that it's irrelevant. I don't see it as irrelevant. Yeah. It's, well, Jim says it's an amazing toy. Well, we'll take your word for it, Jim. It is a toy. It uh, a while back I said it's a replacement for the Tello, and I still think it's a replacement for the Tello, but it has some of the Spark functionality, but the Spark had hand gestures. That is something that the Neo does not have, but it's got the pre-programmed buttons on it, and then you can do a lot on the phone, which the phone part actually was, well, it was on the Spark too, but the Tello, all you used with that was a phone. Well, Chuck, you're a 107 pilot. You fly on the 107 rules, and for a 107 pilot, the sub 250 is really a mute point because everything you fly on the 107 has to have remote ID on it. So anyway, it's a toy. Don't expect anything else but a toy out of it. Now, I've already seen Dobo already. He's got the bumper guards online for the Neo. He says to only add like 7 grams of weight to it, so that seems to be doable. That's what, about 5% of takeoff weight. That's not really overloading it. I think that's where it's at. Trying to learn how to fly FPV, the Neo is ideal for it. And if it crashes beyond repair, I mean, you're what, at $199? That is nothing. I mean, a good FPV quad will set you back $500 these days, especially with an 04 system on it. Well, you can't even get an 04 system, be an 03 quad. An 03 quad with a 2-inch 03 quad, it'll set you back $450. So Jim said you don't need no bumpers on that Neo. Who needs no stinking bumpers? And Philip Goshat is here. Howdy, fella. So, and since we're on FPV, there's something else that got released, and that's this little thing, the Goggle X extension board. And the Goggle X extension board allows you, and you can see there's these pinholes up here. Can we make this bigger? There we go. Let me make this bigger here too. We'll do it like that. So you see there's these 2 rows of holes. That's where an analog module plugs into. Then you've got an analog wire that goes to the goggles, and you got power coming to this module. And this double sticks tape on top of the goggles and allows you to use your goggles X as an analog goggle, but it also has the head tracker on it to use the new Walksnail gimbals. So we're now have that functionality, and I've scared up this video here that the Walksnail released for this. They just have the little module, double stick tape right on top. And then you got the power wire. One goes in the goggle, one goes on the module, and there's that little cable. And if you already own the goggles, you should already have a cable like that. So plug that in and plug in your module, and you're good to go. Holding the button for 5 seconds changes the input over to the analog input. Now the other thing is, now it allows you to use the head tracker, or the tracking the head tracking was the new gimbals that Walksnail came out with. And they show you here in a second. Pushing that return button 3 times zeroes out the gimbal, and see how it moves the gimbal. So if you're a fixed wing pilot and you want to be able to look around while you're flying, there you go. And the neat part is there's no wiring involved with this, because they've already they're carrying the signal from your head tracker on the 2-way communication between the goggles and the VTX. So all the head tracking signal goes through the VTX. So you don't have to wire up no PWM servos of any type. All that is already taken care of. Do they make an analog adapter for the goggles too? No. As far as I know, the goggles still don't even have an analog in. So this is Gary, you just gonna have to hang in there. The sim is a good place to start. And the Neo is actually easy to start with for FPV, because you actually have the assisted modes like normal and sport mode. You don't have to fly full manual on the goggles, at least not that I know of. Jim, do you have to can you only fly full manual on the Neo? What's the goggles and the controller 3? Since Jim is the only one here that actually has this thing. There you go. The old oh shit button. Okay, you can fly sport or manual. You should be able to fly normal mode too. So that thing just hovers, and then unless you give it stick input, it'll move. Or only move when you give it stick input. There you go. Manual is a different beast. And that takes some getting used to. Yeah. So, well, what's next was DJI. We're expecting what, the Air 3S and the Action 5. We haven't heard anything yet on either one of those. And the Action 5 was rumored to come out a week after the Neo. Well, we're a week after, no, not quite a week after the Neo. So, but we haven't seen an announcement yet. So maybe we'll see an announcement on Thursday for the Action 5 to come out in another week. Who knows? But I'm not. I'm kind of holding my feet still with anything DJI till we find out what's going on with that ban or the Countering CCP Drones Act. I mean, once products on the market, it's there to stay, unless DJI underlives it, and then, well, Congress moves slow, but oddly enough, Congress put it through on the NDAA. Then the Senate picked that out. Now the House created an amendment and passed that and put it back over to the Senate. So the Senate has no longer the option of ignoring it. They're going to have to do something with it, yay, nay, or otherwise. So, and there are senators in support of this thing, because for the longest time, the same bill got introduced to the House into the Senate. So, yeah, Congress moves slow, but it is bullshit, Jim. It is. But it goes with the signs of the times. I mean, DJI FPV2. What is DJI FPV2? Mr. Lee, welcome. DJI FPV2. Are you talking about a second edition of Potato? I don't think that's going to happen. You have the Avata, that's an FPV. You got Avata 2, that's FPV, and you got this Neo now that can be flown FPV. I don't see another DJI FPV coming. Now, eventually, DJI is going to go to the 04 unit, but will we still, at that point, will we be able to buy the 04 unit here in the US? Because unless, DJI cranks it out now before they get put on that covered list, yeah. So there's going to be some interesting times coming our way. And not necessarily for the better. And then I saw this thing here yesterday. And this has me all sorts of interested. Rain, go away. I want to fly. Yeah. All right. This is a kit, and this is a plan for a plane that you can print on your 3D printer with the lightweight PLA and PETG. So probably the wings and what have you are made of the lightweight PLA, and then some of the more robust pieces out of PETG. So this thing is 35 bucks. And then obviously you have to print it yourself. But this looks kind of interesting. This could be a fun little project to build. And the payload bay on it looks huge. Oh, there we go. We got some pictures now. And apparently there's a VTOL variant of that available. There we go. This is all. So this nose cone is probably something to be printed out of PETG. Probably a couple more of the centerpieces here, and then the wings just out of the lightweight PLA. But this would be an interesting little project. See, there's a couple of carbon fiber rods in there, and they give you in the instructions. There's a list of carbon fiber parts that you need to buy. Here's your shopping list: 10 mil by 800 mil carbon tube for the main spar, 8 by 600 for the secondary spar. There's wing spars, there's tail boom, the V-tail spar, all the glue and screws and all the stuff you need with that. Motors, F60, 1750 kV, 7x4 props, so it's got 7-inch props on it. Speedy B 405 wing flat controller, Maytag Q M10Q GPS, BR Heli ESC, 4S battery, yellow S receiver. So this would be an interesting little project. And if I were to do ELRS on it, I'd have to go, what's the new product from Radio Master? This little puppy. The Nomad Dual 1-watt Gemini Crossband Express LRS module. 2 antennas on it. It's a diversity. Each one is capable of either 2.4 gig or 900 megahertz. 900 megahertz is what Crossfire uses. So we're using, in the US, we use 915. In Europe, y'all use the 868. And Mr. Lee, I feel your pain. Just want to fly. So, but yeah, this little booger has 2 transmitters on it that can be either 900 megahertz or 2.4 gig. And then you have a receiver that goes with that. It has 20 by 20 mounting now, so it's a healthy size receiver, but it has 4 antennas on it. So it has 2 2.4 gig and 2 900 megahertz antennas on it. So this is not going to be for your little tiny whoop. You're not going to get all those antennas mounted on the tiny whoop. That's not going to happen. This is going to be long range. And this is quite an interesting product. If you into fixed wings or you want to fly long range, this is quite interesting. It's not very heavy. It's 2.65 grams, but that's without the antennas. So figure about twice that by the time you get the antennas on there. But I mean, this is something you're going to fly. This is for long range. This is not going to be nothing sub 250. But this is quite the interesting product. And I guess they give you both backs for it to where you can use it in a JR bay or a nano. So it's very, very interesting what's coming our way there. So then, was there anything else that I'm forgetting about? I think I covered about everything there was to cover. Amazon is having quite the deals on remote ID modules. There's still this one for $30. Yeah. FAA compliant remote identification broadcast module for $30. Especially you 107 folks, take note. Because 107 folks have to have one module for each of the quads they're flying. They can't swap them over like the recreational flyers do. So there's that. There's the Roku one for $40. Potenza has one for $70. B1 has one for $70. So it's worth looking into. Let's see if the Roku still has a coupon on it. Yep, Roku has $5 coupon on it still. So yeah, Jim's gonna be our neighborhood dealer pretty soon. We'll all be going. I hope, Jim, I hope you got a guest bedroom because we're all gonna come visit you here in the near future. And I saw a comment from Chuck here earlier that he needs to elaborate on. Where did it go? The associate at the Iceland DJI store was giving him advice on flying manual or acro. Now that one I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall. Very interesting. Let's see. Yep. USA drone flyer. Howdy, feller. Good evening. I'm missing Captain Joe. Who's Captain Joe? Oh, there we go. Captain Joe. There we go. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, I think today is gonna be a abbreviated stream because I don't foresee that making it today. But if I could get y'all to hit that thumbs up, please, I appreciate it. And no, obviously our thoughts go to Johnny and all those guys in that Louisiana area that's about to get drenched. So we'll have to, keep up with what's Johnny Drone Flyer, or as I call him, Johnny Low Flyer. They're gonna get soaked again. Hopefully, it's not gonna be too major. But yeah, if y'all would hit the thumb down there. I would appreciate it. But other than that, I think that is it for me for tonight. Oh, so Captain Joe is down there with Johnny. So, Joe and Johnny, y'all be safe. Stay dry. Get out the waders, wetsuits, dry suits, whatever it takes to stay dry. But y'all be careful out there. So anyway, we'll see y'all next week. Hopefully Dad is back in the mix at that point. He had to take the cat to the vet. And to my understanding, it will be the cat's last trip to the vet, if you catch my drift. So obviously that takes priority over anything. I'm still going to give him crap over it, but I mean, that's just me and my charming personality. So until then, we'll see y'all next week. Same time, same place. Be the late again, the 5:30 Central, 4:30 Mountain, 6:30 Eastern, however that works out. So I say 5:30 Central. Y'all figure out what that is in y'all's time zone. And until then, y'all take care and y'all be safe. And we'll see you. Bye.